here's the biggest problem with M-Pesa. A key reason M-Pesa is so useful is this: a typical M-Pesa agent. And there are a lot of them. According to a case study on M-Pesa, written by former Central Bank Governor Professor Njuguna Ndung'u and published by the African Economic Research Consortium, in the first 12 months of M-Pesa operations, the number of agents increased from 307 in March 2007 to 2,329 in March 2008. This is more than 2 times the number of bank branches in Kenya. This initial growth spurt in the number of M-Pesa agents, as well as the wider and steady growth over the subsequent 18 years, was critical to scaling the service countrywide. As Professor Ndungu notes, in those early years, the agents were the source of information and operational education for this new model and the mobile phone use. They were the face of Safaricom. This network of agents in urban centers, urban periphery, and rural shopping centers were distinct in color and very accessible. The credibility of Safaricom agents, their visibility, and the investment by Safaricom in terms of equipment, training, and supervision gave this model the success it has to date. Safaricom says it currently has 600,000 agents, and M-Pesa processes 60 million transactions every day. But unlike many other ways in which customers interact with Safaricom, when you visit a Safaricom shop, contact a customer care call center, or open one of Safaricom's apps, Safaricom has virtually no control over your customer experience at an M-Pesa agent. M-Pesa agents outnumber Safaricom's actual employees by more than 100 to 1. This outsourced labor gives M-Pesa its incredible convenience and scale, 2 things every competitor has so far been unable to replicate or match. As Safaricom's first CEO Michael Joseph notes, the real key to the success of the M-Pesa rollout and acceptance was the number and geographic spread of the M-Pesa agents. Fancy people with MBAs, BMWs, and lousy cologne call this kind of thing a moat, something that gives a business a competitive advantage but is hard for competing businesses to copy. But by ceding crucial everyday functions to individual M-Pesa agents, Safaricom has no control over this vital customer touchpoint. Which brings us to the customer experience at an M-Pesa agent. This, in my opinion, is its weakest point. One major reason is the type of M-Pesa agents most of us use. There are different tiers of M-Pesa agents, and the most common type of agent is a retail agent or sub-agent. These are often small shops, grocers, and individual M-Pesa stalls, and they make up the majority of all agents, about 85%, according to the African Economic Research Consortium's case study. Because of this, the customer experience often suffers. They have lower float amounts, which limits the size of your M-Pesa deposit or withdrawal. They can be distracted or otherwise occupied, especially if they're running a shop alongside their M-Pesa business. And because these are small businesses, they don't have the resources to make the physical space you're in a particularly pleasant one. You can argue that M-Pesa agents are less crucial to the M-Pesa experience than they used to be. Many more merchants accept M-Pesa payments, reducing the frequency of your M-Pesa withdrawals, and you can transfer cash from your bank account to your M-Pesa account, which would mean you deposit at an agent less often. But M-Pesa initially found success by providing financial services to people who didn't have bank accounts, and it remains a key part of the informal economy. While anecdotally, I can report that I've seen more and more people opting to pay for things like matatu rides and very small purchases with M-Pesa as more and more of our spending becomes digital, data from the central bank shows that cash is still used for almost 90% of daily expenses, with mobile money making up a measly 7%. This means that the small M-Pesa agent still serves a pretty important role in how money moves through our economy. And despite this, Safaricom has no control over this specific customer experience. But there might be a way of competing service to grow specifically by improving the retail agent experience as a key differentiator. From the M-Pesa case study, even when the agent's exclusivity clause was removed, other MNOs did not move to engage with the existing agent network, which could have created fertile grounds for competition and demands for interoperability. By offering customer experience incentives to existing agents through paying out commissions based just not on transaction volume, but also using a metric like NPS rating that measures customer satisfaction, a competitor could finally change the space, making agents more money and making customers happier.